Barron Trump's dramatic transformation through the years. Barron William Trump, the youngest son of former U.S. President Donald J. Trump and First Lady Melania Trump, has grown up in the spotlight yet remained largely private, especially in comparison to other presidential children. Born on March 20, 2006, Barron has experienced a life unlike most American teenagers. From the glitz of Trump Tower to the historical grandeur of the White House, and now into young adulthood, Barron's journey has been marked by change, scrutiny, and evolution. As the only child of Donald and Melania Trump, and the only son to live in the White House since John F. Kennedy Jr., Barron Trump has been a subject of intense public curiosity. His transformation through the years is more than just a physical one, it reflects the blending of high-profile parenting, cultural influences, and personal growth. Let's take an in-depth look at how Barron Trump has changed through the years, highlighting the milestones that have defined his young life. Early years, a Trump heir is born, 2006 to 2010. Barron was born on March 20, 2006, in Manhattan, New York City. As the fifth child of Donald Trump and the first, and only, child between Donald and Melania, Barron's birth garnered media interest from the start. He was born into opulence, his nursery was reportedly decorated with Louis XIV-inspired furnishings, and he had an entire floor of Trump Tower to himself. Melania, who is of Slovenian descent, was especially hands-on in Barron's early upbringing. She often emphasized how she prioritized raising Barron herself, even foregoing a traditional nanny for many years. She was known for her meticulous parenting style, which included choosing organic foods, overseeing his education, and insisting he speak Slovenian at home. From baby photos released to the press to brief appearances with his parents, Barron was seen as an adorable and well-dressed toddler. He quickly earned the nickname Little Donald due to his resemblance to his father, both in appearance and demeanor. Public appearances in early childhood. While he was rarely seen in public during these early years, Barron did appear occasionally at family events or during interviews. In a 2010 interview with Parenting magazine, Melania shared anecdotes about Barron playing with his father's construction toys and building miniature Trump towers. She noted his growing creativity and love for drawing, building, and sports. Formative years, growing up Trump, 2011 to 2015. Between 2011 and 2015, Barron continued to grow largely out of the public eye, though he was occasionally seen in paparazzi shots or at Trump Organization events. He attended the Columbia Grammar and Preparatory School in Manhattan, one of the most prestigious and expensive private schools in New York. Melania continued to shield Barron from unnecessary media attention, ensuring he had a relatively normal childhood despite the family's immense wealth and public standing. This approach was a departure from how Donald's older children, Don Jr., Ivanka, and Eric, were raised, as they were involved in the Trump business world from a younger age. Barron was described by those close to the family as quiet, observant, and independent. He loved sports, especially soccer, and was also interested in computers and technology. A private life despite the limelight. Even though Donald Trump was a reality TV figure and frequent headline maker during this period, Melania's preference for privacy meant Barron was spared from becoming a child celebrity. He did not appear in The Apprentice, nor was he featured in any major media unless in the context of family portraits. This era shaped Barron as someone used to intense wealth but relatively untouched by fame, an unusual combination for a Trump. Entering the political stage, the 2016 election and White House life, 2016 to 2017. Barron's life changed dramatically when Donald Trump announced his candidacy for president in 2015. As the campaign gained traction and media scrutiny intensified, Barron was thrust into the public eye, albeit reluctantly. During Donald Trump's victory speech on election night in November 2016, Barron stood on stage beside his father, looking tired and disoriented, understandable for a 10-year-old witnessing history unfold in the middle of the night. That moment, captured by cameras worldwide, became one of the first viral images of Barron Trump. Controversy and public reactions. As first son, Barron became a focus of public discussion, and not always positively. While most Americans agreed that children of presidents should be off-limits from political attacks, Barron was unfortunately mocked on several occasions online. The White House issued statements asking the media and public to respect his privacy. Notably, Chelsea Clinton, who had experienced the public eye as a child in the White House herself, defended Barron publicly and urged people to leave him out of political discourse. White House era, the only son in the executive mansion, 2017 to 2021. Barron Trump became the first boy to live in the White House since John F. Kennedy Jr. in the 1960s. When Donald Trump took office in January 2017, Melania and Barron delayed their move to Washington, D.C., so he could finish the school year in New York. They moved into the White House in June 2017. Once in D.C., Barron enrolled at St. Andrew's Episcopal School in Potomac, Maryland. The school was known for its small class sizes and progressive curriculum. It was a break from tradition, as most presidential children had attended Sidwell Friends School. First glimpses of his personality. As the Trump presidency continued, Barron began making more appearances, especially during White House holiday events like the Easter egg roll or when disembarking Air Force One with his parents. Observers noted his rapid growth. He was soon towering over his mother, and eventually his father. Barron's fashion choices, usually sleek suits or stylish coats, also drew attention. Despite his tall frame and model-esque looks, Barron remained shy and reserved, rarely speaking in public or giving interviews. Melania continued to play a protective role, shielding him from press exposure and keeping his personal life extremely private. Teenage growth spurts and a changing image, 2020 to 2021. By 2020, Barron Trump had become almost unrecognizable from the boy who stood on the election stage in 2016. He reportedly grew to over 6 feet 7 inches, making headlines and sparking surprise each time he appeared in public. Social media exploded each time a new photo of Barron emerged, whether from a Trump family outing, walking beside his parents, or playing sports. Many commented on his height, noting that he was taller than both his parents. He became a trending topic more than once just due to a single candid image. Despite the attention, Barron did not participate in public speeches, interviews, or political events. Melania remained consistent in her mission to protect his privacy, a stance many applauded. Post-White House years, quiet resurgence, 2021 to 2023. After Donald Trump left office in January 2021, the Trump family relocated to Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida. Barron began attending Oxbridge Academy, a private school in Palm Beach, where he reportedly remained focused on academics and sports. Melania continued to stay largely out of the spotlight, and Barron followed suit. There were few public images of him, and the family refrained from releasing official statements about his life. Nonetheless, each rare public sighting continued to intrigue people, especially as Barron entered late adolescence and took on a more mature, confident appearance. Some family insiders and commentators speculated about his future, whether he would go into business, fashion, or politics, but nothing official was ever confirmed. Emerging identity, Barron in 2024 and beyond. As of 2024, Barron Trump turned 18 and graduated high school, officially entering adulthood. His transformation has been marked by more than physical growth. He has evolved from a hidden child of privilege to a symbol of quiet strength and maturity amid immense media pressure. There was much speculation about his next steps. Would he attend college? Follow his father into business? Pursue his own path in sports or design? As of mid-2024, Melania and Donald Trump have kept those details under wraps. Barron's emergence into adulthood also coincided with renewed media interest. Every move he made was analyzed. What car does he drive? Who are his friends? Is he dating anyone? Still, he remained one of the most enigmatic figures in modern political families, a sharp contrast to the very public personas of his half-siblings like Ivanka Trump. Comparison to other presidential children. Unlike Sasha and Malia Obama, who had high-profile yet poised public presences, or the Bush twins, who gave interviews and wrote books, Barron's upbringing has been more reserved. Some critics have praised the Trump family for keeping him out of the spotlight, while others view the mystery surrounding Barron as part of the media strategy that surrounds the Trump brand. Final thoughts: the mystery and magnetism of Barron Trump. Barron Trump's transformation has captivated America because it is both relatable and extraordinary. At his core, he is a teenager navigating identity, ambition, and maturity, yet he does so under the weight of his family name, political notoriety, and the eyes of a fascinated public. His future remains unwritten. He could follow the path of discretion and privacy or emerge as a major public figure in the coming years. Whatever course he chooses, Barron Trump's journey from a quiet child in Trump Tower to a towering, poised adult has already secured his place in America's cultural memory. For now, he remains a symbol of quiet resilience and one of the most intriguing young figures in modern political history. What's next for Barron Trump? As Barron Trump steps into adulthood, speculation about his future is growing rapidly. His last name alone carries both privilege and pressure. With a net worth estimated in the billions from the Trump family fortune, Barron has access to virtually any opportunity, yet he also inherits the heavy burden of his father's polarizing legacy. Higher education: will Barron go to college? Though the Trump family hasn't officially confirmed Barron's college plans, multiple sources have speculated he may pursue higher education at a prestigious institution. Given his private school background and the family's history, Ivanka and Don Jr. attended the University of Pennsylvania, Eric went to Georgetown, it wouldn't be surprising if Barron followed suit. Interestingly, there's been talk of him possibly studying abroad or pursuing a more niche field like architecture, technology, or even sports management. Melania has always emphasized Barron's individual interests over family business obligations, so his path could diverge significantly from that of his older half-siblings. A career in sports or fashion. Standing at over 6 feet 7 inches, Barron Trump's athletic potential is obvious. He played soccer extensively in his younger years and showed interest in other sports, but there hasn't been any official word on whether he pursued it competitively. Coaches at Oxbridge Academy noted his athleticism, though, and he's often been spotted in athleisure wear or sporty outfits. On the flip side, his sharp sense of style, often seen in polished, European-inspired clothing, has led to discussions about a possible foray into modeling or fashion. Given Melania's modeling background and the family's connections, Barron would likely be welcomed into that world with open arms if he chose that path. Influence on youth culture and Gen Z. Though not an influencer in the traditional sense, Barron Trump has had a unique cultural impact. Teenagers and young adults online often discuss him in memes, TikToks, and threads that blend admiration, curiosity, and irony. He's become a kind of Gen Z icon, someone born into unimaginable wealth and power, yet surprisingly private, unproblematic, and low-key. This fascination only intensified as he became visibly taller and more adult-looking. Suddenly, Barron wasn't just Trump's kid, but someone with presence. That rare combo of mystery and visibility has helped him carve out a bizarre niche in the internet's collective imagination. Social media often romanticizes him as a silent observer of the political chaos his family stirs, a narrative that may not be entirely accurate but reflects how young people feel about power, image, and rebellion. The weight of the Trump name. No matter what Barron chooses to do, he will forever carry the Trump surname, and that name evokes strong feelings worldwide. Whether you view Donald Trump as a transformative leader or a controversial figure, his reputation is inescapable, and Barron will either be shaped by it or attempt to step out of its shadow. Public versus private identity. One of the defining questions around Barron Trump's future is whether he will embrace the public spotlight or remain in the background. As of now, all signs point toward a preference for privacy. But that could change. He may find himself called upon to defend his family, represent them at events, or eventually step into a business or political role. Alternatively, he may reject all that and forge a new identity, one separate from the legacy and expectations. This balance between public pressure and personal authenticity is something many children of famous families struggle with, and Barron is no exception. Melania Trump's influence and legacy as a mother. Throughout Barron's life, Melania Trump has remained fiercely protective and hands-on as a mother. Her influence has been subtle but powerful. She's often described as the most private First Lady in recent memory, and that same restraint and focus on personal values is evident in how Barron has turned out. While Donald Trump is bombastic and media-savvy, Melania is calm, composed, and cautious. These qualities seem to have shaped Barron's demeanor. He's not outspoken, attention-seeking, or reactionary. He seems more introspective and calculated, much like his mother. Melania has also likely played a key role in keeping Barron grounded despite immense privilege. Reports over the years suggest she's emphasized respect, education, and independence, which could help him as he forges his own path. The Barron Trump phenomenon: why are we so intrigued? It's not often that someone becomes famous for doing almost nothing. Barron has never posted publicly on social media, never given an interview, and rarely speaks at public events. And yet, people are obsessed with him. Part of that intrigue comes from contrast. His siblings have appeared on TV shows, launched businesses, and built public personas. Meanwhile, Barron remains elusive. People are naturally drawn to mystery, and in a world dominated by oversharing, his silence is loud. Another layer is generational. Gen Z sees Barron not as a political figure, but as a curious byproduct of one of the most talked about presidencies in U.S. history. Whether people love or hate his father, they're interested in the youngest Trump, perhaps wondering what it's like to grow up in the eye of a political storm without ever stepping into it yourself. Looking forward, Barron's potential to shape his own narrative. Barron Trump's life so far has been a masterclass in controlled exposure. He's a public figure who isn't public. But that will inevitably change. As he becomes a legal adult, he'll have more agency over his image, his career, and his message. Will he ever speak out? It's entirely possible Barron will one day break his silence, perhaps in a memoir, an interview, or even a documentary. If and when that happens, it will likely be a major cultural moment. People are hungry to know what he thinks, how he feels about his family, and what it was like growing up in Trump Tower and the White House. But he may also choose a quieter route. He might live his life out of the spotlight, entering academia, business, or private philanthropy. Either way, the choice will be his. And for a young man who's never had much say in how the world sees him, that moment of agency will be powerful. Conclusion: Barron Trump, a legacy yet to be written. Barron Trump's dramatic transformation through the years has fascinated millions not just because of who he is, but because of who he isn't. He isn't loud, scandalous, or attention-hungry. He isn't a reality TV star or a political activist. He's simply Barron. And yet, that simple presence, tall, silent, composed, speaks volumes in a chaotic world. Whether he steps into the spotlight or continues to move quietly through the world, Barron Trump's story is just beginning. And for a generation watching closely, he's more than just the youngest Trump, he's a symbol of choice, privacy, and the complicated weight of legacy.